Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Fully Tilted. Here we play control decks in MTG Arena's best of one format. So today we're going to be taking a look at a blue and black Dimir control deck. By the way, if you're new to the channel, think about hitting that subscribe button. It'll really help us out. We're going to be doing a deck tech and some matches, so if you guys want to skip straight to the matches, check out the timestamp in the description below and head on right over there. But if you want to see the deck list and see how it's constructed, well, then let's go take a look. Alright, so let's just take a look. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is suited for the best of one format, so as you can see, we have no sideboard. 60 cards in the deck with 2 Essence Scatter help us kind of stop any creatures with Enter the Battlefield triggers from hitting the actual battlefield. We have 2 Cast Downs, take care of anything larger that we need to. That's not legendary. That is a big clause, so it doesn't hit things like Shalai, which is really important to remember. We have 2 Moment of Craving, help us in the early game kind of mitigate any loss against aggro decks such as Mono Red or Boros aggro. We've got 2 Discovery Dispersal. Discovery is great, Surveil 2 and then draw a card. Basically, it's going to help us fix our draws. Dispersal is really good in conjunction with cards like Thought Erasure because you can bounce something back to your opponent's hand and then make them discard it. The bouncing back to the hand is really important for this deck because we struggle against things like Hexproof and things like enchantments. We are running 4 Thought Erasures. It's possibly one of the best discard spells we've seen printed in Standard in a very long time. Just a standard look at your opponent's hand, you get to choose a non-land card from it, and they have to discard it. We're running 3 Sinister Sabotage, just a great counter spell, right? Just basically better than cancel. And 4 Disinformation Campaigns. This card is just straight up value. You basically get to play it and it replaces itself, plus causes your opponent to discard a card. So automatically it's card advantage right there. Then in conjunction with things like Sinister Sabotage, Thought Erasure, and Discovery Dispersal, we've got plenty of Surveil in the deck to get it back to our hand and play it again. It really allows us to kind of strip our opponent's hand very nicely. We're running 2 Thief of Sanity. Now this card can go back and forth with a lot of people. A lot of people do not like it because it does die to pretty much every single removal in the format. However, if you can get it to stick, it is an awesome, awesome card. Basically, you swing in, deal 2 damage, and you get to basically steal one of the top 3 cards of their deck. The other 2 go into exile, which means it doesn't go back into their deck. You get to strip them from them completely. That card that you do take, you then get to play on your own if you so want to, which is pretty sweet, or just hold on to it, either way. We're running 3 Ritual of Soot, which is a great sweeper, especially against aggro. It basically takes care of anything that Mono Red aggro or Boros aggro, or even like the bottom end of Stompy can kind of throw at you. I am only running 3. I think 4 might actually be a better bet, but I don't have enough rare wild cards right now to craft the 4th one. So it's going to stay at 3 for now. Running 3 Vraska's Contempt. The life gain is definitely applicable, especially against aggro, which we see a lot of in the best of one format, and helps us remove anything that hits the field, especially those pesky Phoenixes that keep coming back. Running 3 Doom Whisperer, Flying Trample, 6/6 for 5 are great stats even to begin with. Not to mention the fact that we can pay 2 life and Surveil 2 to help us smooth out our draws and get back our Disinformation Campaign. We're running 3 Eldest Reborn. It's just a great value card, right? Causes our opponent to sack a creature or a planeswalker, then discard a card, and then we get to steal a creature or planeswalker from their graveyard or recur one of our own. It's just great value. I'm not sure 3 is the right number. 2 might be better. 3 might be a little too much, but we'll see how it goes. Running 2 Dream Eater. Dream Eater is, again, another card that a lot of people don't really love. With it only being 3 toughness, it does die to stuff like Lightning Strike, Wizard's Lightning, and the like. But it is a Flash Flying Surveil 4. That's pretty deep. Plus, we get to return a non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So basically, let's say there's something on the field like an Ixalan's Binding. We have Dream Eater and Thought Erasure in hand. We play Dream Eater end of turn, bounce back their Ixalan's Binding, then on our turn play Thought Erasure and remove whatever enchantment we bounced back. It's one of the ways that we can get rid of enchantments with this deck, because otherwise blue and black struggle with enchantment removal. As far as the land base is concerned, it's a great land base. We're running 7 islands, 8 swamps, 4 drowned catacomb, 4 watery grave, and 2 field of ruin to help us remove anything like those pesky Search for Azcanthas or Hadana's Climb. And that's really it for the deck, guys. There is one card in this deck that is missing that I'm not sure I want in it, but I have gone back and forth, and that is Search for Azcantha. It's just a great card for any blue control deck, and the fact that I'm not running it in this list kind of does make me a little uneasy, so that you might see another iteration of this down the line. For those of you that care and want to build this deck and you're looking at crafting it and you're not sure what to craft first, like what are the key components of this deck, honestly, Thought Erasure, Sinister Sabotage, Disinformation Campaign, Ritual of Soot is fantastic. Ritual of Soot's also great in any other black style control deck. So Esper, Grixis, so it spans a lot. So Ritual of Soot should definitely be one of the first cards that you craft. Vraska's Contempt is great, works well in Golgari mid-range as well as any other of the black control decks. As far as the finishers, either Dream Eater or Doom Whisperer, I honestly think Doom Whisperer is a better card than Dream Eater. I think it has more applicable uses and stuff like that, so I'd probably craft that one first. So out of wild cards, what should you look for first? Definitely Ritual of Soot and Vraska's Contempt. Those are no-brainer. I'd also go with Sinister Sabotage because that card can be used in other decks as well. From there, I'd probably go into Thought Erasure and then maybe like Doom Whisperer or something like that. But key cards to this that you definitely want to craft first: Sinister Sabotage, Ritual of Soot, Vraska's Contempt. Those should be the first 3 sets that you go for because they can be used in other decks as well. That's it for the deck tech, guys. Really hope you like it. If you guys have any feedback on the list, by all means, please let me know. But we're going to jump into a quick Constructor League and see how it does. Alright, so we're going first. We've got a 3-land hand with Moment of Craving and Thought Erasure. I like it. We'll keep it. Let's see, our opponent keeps. What are we playing against? Could be another mono green Stompy, could be Golgari. Either way, Thief of Sanity is going to be gold here, but let's bolt the bird, as they say, right? Try to keep them off tempo. It kind of is a tempo loss on us sometimes. Okay, Merfolk Branchwalker, not too bad. Pulls a land, so it stays at a 2-1, which is really nice. So, we could Thought Erasure or we could Thief of Sanity. The thing with Thief of Sanity is it's really difficult if they're not playing Golgari. Oh, they are, okay. So, I think we're going to Thought Erasure. Ooh, okay. That's a good hand. So, 2 Golgari Queens, Branchwalker. We do have a Contempt. They have a Doom Whisperer. We'll steal. Get rid of that. Sinister Sabotage, we will definitely be keeping that. So chances are they're probably going to drop the other Branchwalker at this point, unless they pull the Jadelight Ranger. Okay. Ooh, an Azrith. So Golgari in general is just a really good deck. The amount of card advantage and just value that they generate is incredible. And that's why they're probably the top tier deck at the moment. So we're just going to pass the turn. We're going to take a lot of damage next turn, but it's going to be okay. I'm going to see what they play. Hopefully they're going to try to play something that we can just counter. Yep. I really don't want to counter a Seeker Squire. Alright, you know what? We'll just let that resolve. Hopefully we can pull a Ritual of Soot, which would be really nice at this point. That was not it. Alright. So, we could Thief of Sanity, which then allows them to drop something turn 5. They do also have another Golgari Queen that they can drop. We're just going to have to take the damage, I think. Because I really don't think that it's going to be advantageous for us to Discovery at this point, although we do need the land. Well, that wasn't very good. Alright. So we're gonna hope to pull something here. We're just kinda okay. That's a little bit better. Not ideal, right? Because now we're gonna take 2, 4, 7. Go down to 1. That's rough. That's rough.
I go, I leave bodies in my wake.
Alright, so they didn't sack anything. Realistically, we probably should have scribed. Oh, they are, okay. Well, that gives us a fighting chance. Ugh. And we're stuck on double black for Vraska's Contempt. So, this is pretty much game. I don't see a way out of this, to be honest. That was kind of a misplay on my part. Probably definitely should have, you know, put that in the graveyard looking for a ritual. But even then, we still would have been stuck on double black, so probably should have put the land and the sabotage in the grave. But it is what it is. So I think we just scoop at this point. No point in proceeding. That's okay. That's why we're here. Alright, so our opponent's going first. We've got a 3-land hand, which is nice, although we did last turn too. Cast down. We've got some good things. We'll keep that. It's pretty decent. We are on the play against black. Not 100% sure where we're going to be here, right? Could be Golgari. Could be some form of Esper control. Could be black and white Vamps. Black and blue. discard deck? Search for Azcanta. I wonder if we're playing the Mirror. Or maybe like a Grixis control deck. So the problem is now that a lot of our cards are going to be dead, right? Cast Downs, Moment of Cravings, pretty much dead in the water. We do kind of want to pull our Field of Ruin for when this thing flips. Oh, yep, Grixis. Alright. So Grixis control is a pretty strong control deck in this meta. Their one weakness is a lack of sweepers, right? Basically, it's like Ritual of Soot, and that's about it. So they took our Doom Whisperer, not to be surprised. But they have access to a ton of counters. And I mean a ton, right? So they have Syncopates, they have Cancels, they have Essence Gutters, they have Negates, they have Ionize, they have Sinister Sabotage. Like, they have everything when it comes to counters. And so it's really difficult to try to beat them in like a counter war. Alright. So chances are if we try to land a Thief of Sanity, it's just going to get countered. And they do have a lot of ways to remove it, right? They have Lightning Bolts, they have Shivan Fires, they have Shocks, they have Moment of Craving, they have Cast Down. So it's really not that great. If we can land it and they don't have an answer, it's nice. But right now, I think, right, all they've done is Thought Erasure. We don't really know. Their hand is getting rather thin. So I think we're just going to hold up Sinister Sabotage for now. You know, banking on Thief of Sanity landing and sticking is not very good right now. So they ditched their Moment of Craving, which is smart on their part. Search is something that I don't think we run in this deck, which I might actually want to add. It might seems like a kind of a good card to run in this deck, to be honest. Nope. So we can Sinister Sabotage it. They're probably just going to take our Sabotage, to be honest. But, and then they're still going to have 3 mana to play their own Sinister on our Sinister if they wanted to, or Ionize at that point. We'll just let it resolve. So Grixis, like a Grixis discard is actually something I've looked into and contemplated possibly playing as well. It offers up a lot of other options, right? It offers us a different finisher in Nicol Bolas, the Ravager. It offers us a little bit more in the, you know, counter area. Could even, you know, yep. So they took our Sabotage, not surprising. All right, so we do have Disinformation Campaign. They are basically holding up Sinister Sabotage though. So at this point, I mean, Disinformation Campaign's just going to get sabotaged. So I think we play out Thief of Sanity. Yep, see they have the counter. We're just kind of, oh, and they're going to let it resolve. They may just have like the Cast Down and the Moment of Craving. Yep, there it is. We're really just trying to draw out their removal encounters at this point. It's going to be whoever lands something and can protect it better. So if he can land like the Nicol Bolas with a counter up, if he can land a Doom Whisper or a Dream Eater with counters up, like at that point then it becomes pretty much game. You could also have Rawl, which while not super difficult for us. So we're going to Thought Erasure him. See what we can pull. He only has 2 cards, which I kind of like, and then we might Disinformation Campaign and get him with an empty hand. He could, you know, decide to counter this, which is fine. Same idea. Yep. That's fine, right? So we're basically still drawing out counters, getting his hand size down, making him starting to top deck. Disinformation Campaign, like if it lands, like it's just such a good card. Making him discard. We draw a card. Ritual of Soot's pretty much useless. Dream Eater's gone in the grave. So now he's top decking. He does have Search, which makes his top decks a lot better than ours. And we kind of just did give him fuel to kind of, you know. Oh, Thought Erasure up. So if I were him, I would probably take my Eldest Reborn. Yep. Good player. So we can search. Alright, Drowned Catacombs. Not that we can do much right now, so we're just going to have to pass the turn. Yep. So he's getting his hand size back, right, by being able to search, pull a card. Yep. Chemist's Insight, so he'll be able to draw cards off that. We'll probably use that end of turn, which we can now steal and then surveil. Get our disinformation campaign back. He might just play it too, which is fine. But if he plays it, yep, that's fine. It gives us more fuel, to be honest. Disinformation campaign becomes a better card. He could try countering the Thought Erasure. Same idea. Alright, Fungal Infection, useless against us. Eldritch Reborn, goodbye. Doom Whisperer, I really like at this point. If we can land it. Disinformation campaign, draw our Doom Whisperer. Make him discard Fungal Infection. So he can Chemist's in. Well, he can't, but he can as Kanta, right? Can't Chemist's Insight because he has nothing to discard. So what's he get? A Syncopate. Okay. So we're really looking for our Field of Ruin to really get rid of this. It's kind of being a pain in the butt right now. His own Eldritch Reborn. That was a good top deck. Alright, so we have another Disinformation campaign. We do know he has a Syncopate. We have 6. He can Syncopate for 1. He can Syncopate for 2, and then we're screwed. But if we Disinformation campaign, we draw a card. And he's going to discard the Syncopate. So, I mean, out of the graves, what can he pull? He could pull a Doom Whisperer, he could pull a Thief of Sanity. So he's going to Syncopate it, which is fine. Same idea, we just don't draw a card. Dream Eater. He's got some options. Pay 2. Okay. So now we draw a card. Ooh, Discovery. That was nice. And Dispersal's good, right? So we gotta discard a card. So we're gonna discard Ritual. Pretty much useless. What we can do next turn is Dispersal, and that sends his back to his hand. His own Disinformation campaign. Bam. Get rid of Cast Down. And a Thought Erasure. Woo! This guy's top decking like a champ. So, what's he gonna pull? Doom Whisperer? Then I bounce his Eldritch Reborn. Get rid of Dispersal? Actually, might be the best bet, to be honest. Oh, nope, he went with Doom Whisperer. Okay. Oh, he's gonna play his Disinformation campaign again. Let's see, does he play it? Man, this is just like a discard war. Look at this. Crazy. I'm gonna have to get rid of Contempt. Oh, that hurts. Not really what I wanted to see. Just keeping him off. Like, reoccurring something. And we got rid of a counter, look at that. So he's going to play it again, which is fine. I have nothing to sacrifice. Oh, and his Doom Whisperer hits the field. So now he can surveil, right, and then get his Disinformation campaign back, which is good for him. This is a long, drawn-out game. Come on. And we're lagging. Nick Lashhausen. Come on. Alright, what do we pull? Our own disinformation campaign. We'll play it again. He's going to have to discard Eldest Reborn. So he can surveil at this point. I'm not quite sure what that would get him, other than getting his disinformation campaign back. He can do that end of turn. He could surveil and anticipate pulling a counter. So he can dig pretty deep. What's he going to get rid of? Really wants that Eldest Reborn. So he'll be able to swing in the air for 6. Not ideal. So he's surveilling, yeah, before his draw step, which is nice. That's smart. That way he gets to filter his draw. And he's doing it again. Obviously he's looking for something that he hasn't found yet. Most likely whatever he just pulled is really good for him. Another Doom Whisper. So with blue-black, yep. So this is pretty much game. We'll keep it just so he thinks we have something. This is pretty much game at this point. It's going to be really tough for us to kind of beat both of those and still have enough life to live. Really the only way we even have any outs. And Nicol Bolas. So, yeah, at this point, that's game. Right? Yep, Moment of Craving does us no good. We'll good game him like a good player, and then we will concede. That was a great game. That went really well. You know, he just happened to draw better sometimes. That search is pretty much what got us. Him on the play with search, turn 2, pretty much gave him the answers that he needed to beat us. So, it is what it is. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. If you're just watching, we're playing a blue and black Dimir discard control deck in a quick constructed best of 1 event. So this is our opening hand. Our opponent does go first, which is a little unfortunate, but we've got 3 lands of Thought Erasure, 2 disinformation campaigns, and a Sinister Sabotage. We are missing the other blue, but we've got like 3 turns to pull it, so I think we'll be okay and we can keep this. This isn't the greatest deck against aggro, to be honest. Greatest hand, which it seems like we might be playing. So we'll start off with blue and then pass the turn. So we dropped red first turn, right? Our opponent Nero 1, 2, 3, 7. Most likely. Oh, okay. So maybe an Is It Drake's deck or possibly a Jeskai control deck. Still haven't pulled that other island that we need for Sinister Sabotage, but we'll Thought Erasure and see what we're dealing with. Alright. So it looks like we're playing against an Is It Drake's deck. So not too concerned about Lightning Strike. Basically just going to burn us. Lava Coil doesn't really do much. Chemist's Insights, just card draw. So I think we'll remove Enigma Drake and surveil and see. We don't need a Ritual of Soot. That really doesn't do that much against this deck. Right? Ritual of Soot only hits really Enigma Drake. And possibly they might be running Arclight. This might be the Phoenix deck, to be honest. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Moment of Craving's okay, not great. Let's Disinformation Campaign since we're still missing that second blue source. Force them to discard a card. If they are playing Arclight, this could be a problem since they get to choose which card to discard. We're going to see if they discard the card that's down. So there's another black source, not what we're looking for. So they discarded Shock. So we still know their entire hand. Still no Arclight from them, so I'm not too concerned about it. Moment of Craving also pretty useless in this against this deck, to be honest. Alright, so the other disinformation campaign, still no blue source, so it looks like we're going to have to play another disinformation campaign. And they're going to Chemist's Insight, which is fine. Essence Scatter is pretty good, right? We can take care of a Crackling Drake or a Enigma Drake. If they're running Niv, might be a little bit of an issue for us. But we do have Vraska's Contempt, we do have Eldest Reborn, so we do have ways of removing it. And another black source. This is just, whew, all the black. So we could wait, but honestly they're at 5. So they could drop Niz at 6, but we can't counter it anyway, so we might as well disinformation campaign. See if we can't pull that blue source. See if we can get them to discard. They might discard in Chemist's Insight. Yep. So they discarded an island. They're going to Chemist's Insight to draw 2. We're going to force them to discard anyway. There's our blue source. Beautiful. And so now we can basically play our blue source next turn and then hold up Sinister Sabotage for whatever they try to play. And then basically surveil, get all of our disinformation campaigns back, and start really stripping their hand. Nice. This will work really well, so we're just going to pass the turn. We don't really have much to do. So the only thing that could really hurt us right now is a Niv, because we cannot counter Niv. Watery Grave, we can play this tap because we don't need it. And we pass the turn. A little boring going back and forth, but it is what it is. Nope, alright. So we have a Contempt now, which is really good. And we pass the turn for when Niv hits the field. So Niv is going to be a 2-for-1. Well, yeah, basically, right? So we have to waste Vraska's Contempt on it. They get to draw a card, and they get to damage us, which is fine. We can pass the turn because we don't have anything to do. It's kind of passing back and forth is really boring. Looking for something at this point like an Eldest Reborn or maybe a Discovery Dispersal to kind of just do something on our turn because they're not doing anything. Another Sinister Sabotage, so we're going to have to pass the turn. We do have a max hand size, so we're going to have to start discarding, which is fine. We can discard Moment of Craving, which is pretty much useless at this point. Oh, so they're going to Lightning Strike. We'll let that resolve. It's fine. I'm not too worried about 3 damage. That's not something I want to Sinister Sabotage. It seems like a tempo loss, to be honest. So we'll just discard Moment of Craving. Let's see, are they finally going to play something? Their Lava Coil is pretty much dead in their hand. Okay, well, this is good. So we have Dream Eater, which we can always play end of turn. We're not going to be able to bounce anything of theirs, but we will be able to Surveil for 4, and then basically play Disinformation Campaign next turn. So we're probably going to get rid of Ritual, which pretty much does nothing against this deck. So get rid of Ritual, pass the turn, check their end step to make sure that we don't miss our Dream Eater play. So let's see, are they finally going to play something? Ah, Crackling Drake. So we will Sinister Sabotage this, or do we want to Essence Scatter? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So that's 6. So if I Essence Scatter, I can then Dream Eater. They might have a counter for my counter, which is fine. I'd rather them waste their counters on my counters. Nope, looks like it's going to go through. But it does look like they do have a counter. So Dream Eater's probably going to get countered. But let's see. Can we sneak it through? Or are they going to Sinister Sabotage? Looks like they're going to Sabotage, I would guess. Or maybe Ionize. Oh, Essence Scatter. Okay. We'll just play the land and pass the turn. Well, it's going to do it for us. One of the great things about Arena is that it will do some things for you. Like if you don't have anything in your hand that you can play, then you can. It'll just do it for you, which is always nice. All right, so they're gonna play Raw, so we can Sinister Sabotage that. All right, so do we want to Sinister Sabotage his Sinister Sabotage? Yeah, let's Sinister Sabotage his Sinister Sabotage. Why not? Sorry about that, just had to take a call. So we don't need the Watery Grave. Yep, I know, we used a timeout, it's fine. We'll get all of our disinformation campaigns back. See, I'm not even waiting, and it's still timing down. The timer in this game is kind of weird, to be honest. All right, so now let's see. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 7, 9. So if we go disinformation campaign. Draw a card, strip them. Okay, Discovery Dispersal, which is nice. Let's see what they drop. Lightning Strike. We'll go Thief of Sanity. And then we hold up Sinister Sabotage. And we will pass the turn. So they can Lightning Strike. They can Lava Coil our Thief, which is fine, to be honest. It's just removal that we're removing from their hand. Just waiting to see what our opponent plays. I wouldn't be surprised if they Lava Coil. It's just fine. They can Lava Coil the Thief, that's fine with me. So they're going to play Raw, and we will Sinister Sabotage. Do they have another counter? Nope, they do not. Do we need the Contempt? Not really. At this point, we're kind of looking for another Dream Eater or possibly a Doom Whisperer. So let's see, do they Lava Coil? Experiencing some lag. Oh, and our opponent scoops. And so basically, again, that's right, the idea of the deck. Discard, 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 control, 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 land something, and go home. And that's about it. So our opponent goes first, and this is a tough hand. We've got 3 lands, which is nice, but we have no early interaction, which means if we're up against an aggro deck, we're pretty much screwed. We have no black sources. Honestly, with us being on the draw, I think we have to mulligan this. That hurts. This is a little bit better, but not much, but we're definitely going to keep that. And we'll definitely keep the Thought Erasure on the top. At least that'll give us some early interaction. We do a Ritual and plenty of black if we need it. And we are playing against a red deck, so maybe mono red or Jeskai control. Boros aggro. Looks like Boros aggro. So our Ritual of Soot's going to be really good right here. But we will Thought Erasure and see what we can pull from their hand. Ooh, Aurelia, Justice Strike, and Aurelia. Okay. Well, Justice Strike does pretty much nothing against us. I mean, it does defeat our Dream Eaters and our Doom Whisperers, but overall it's really not that big of a threat. Aurelia is definitely a bigger threat for us right now, so let's remove Aurelia. Eldest Reborn, it's a little slow right now, and I wish we had more counters and removal, but you know what? We'll keep it. We have the money to get to Ritual of Soot, so even if they do decide to kind of build a board, we should be pretty good there. So we take the 2, right? It has double strike, so yeah, it is what it is. We will Thought Erasure again. So we know basically they have Aurelia and Justice Strike. So at this point, we can just take the other Aurelia, or we can take Justice Strike. Aurelia's 4. We'll take Aurelia again. Do we need Field of Ruin? Not really, not against this deck. So let's drop that. Kind of smooth out our draws a little bit. So we're taking 2 damage every turn from the Swift Blade, which isn't the biggest deal in the world, to be honest. You know, we have plenty of things that can remove it. We have plenty of things that can beat it. It's not really that big of a deal. And we draw our other. So I don't want to ritual just yet, to be honest, because like if we ritual, we're just taking off their Swift Blade, and that's not an even trade in my book. It's a 2 mana versus a 4 mana spell. So I think what I'm going to do is we're just going to Thought Erasure again. We can pull the Justice Strike, see what else they pulled. Let's see. Yep. So they just have a land and a Justice Strike. The Doom Whisperer will definitely keep on top. We don't have the mana for it next turn, but that's okay. Ooh, History of Benalia. So this is great. This is where Ritual really comes in handy. So we're going to end up taking a little bit of damage here, right? So next turn we're going to end up taking 4 damage, which is okay because then the turn following we will Ritual of Soot, and then history becomes, well, just that, history. Boros Challenger, even better. Trying to hope they really build that board. Ritual of Soot, and goodbye. Now we definitely are looking for that next land because we're kind of short on land right now. Healer's Hawk is fine, not a big deal. I'm not quite sure. Oh, okay, there we go. Alright, so we're a little stuck right now, not ideal, so we're going to have to pass the turn. Really getting land screwed now, which is kind of unfortunate. Really looking for that 5th land. Then we can drop our Eldest Reborn. Alright, well, we have nothing else to do, so might as well Thought Erasure, help us smooth out our lands, our draws. Hopefully be able to pull a land next turn. We can get rid of Justice Strike. We don't want Discovery Dispersal because we really want that land. So our opponent just helloed us, so we'll hello back. Ooh. Good play. Good play. Okay. So Ritual's great because, right, it'll hit, it doesn't hit Shalai. Oh, I forgot Shalai was 4. Alright, so we kind of don't have an option here. We kind of have to Ritual because we don't really have much else to do. And 4 damage brings us down to 3. Yeah, so we'll Ritual, we'll get rid of the Healer Hawk, which is fine. Ooh, Phoenix. Not ideal, right? This is absolutely not where we wanted to be. If we pay the 2 life, we go down to 2. Doesn't really matter. We're kind of... He attacks with both. We can only block 1. We're pretty much dead in the water at this point. So we'll pay the 2 life. Even if we Eldest Reborn, he only removes 1, and it's probably going to be the Phoenix, at which point he brings it back. Doom Whisperer only blocks 1, so then we're dead either way. Can't Flash and Dream Eater, so we're pretty much dead in the water. We'll see what happens. I don't see how this could possibly work, but I don't know. Maybe we get lucky. Yeah. So we're done. So unfortunately, we just got land screwed on that one, right? We didn't draw a land for something like 5 turns, and it really just hurt us in the end. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another game with our blue and black Dimir discard control deck. We are now 1-1 in our league, and pretty decent opening hand, kind of a little land heavy, little early interaction light, you know, but I guess we can keep it. Our opponent does go first, so we have a few turns to try to draw into some early removal. Alright, so we're looking at either mono green Stompy, or looking at Golgari, great, green and black, mid-range. Oh, Selesnya. interesting. Right, so this is a really interesting play here because if we can draw Ixalan's Binding, so if we can draw a, nope, that's not what we want. If we can draw into a Ritual of Soot, we'll be in a better position, but right now we just don't have the early interaction that we were kind of looking for this game, so we'll see what happens. We'll be taking a lot of damage each turn until we can get something to work with here. So we'll keep up Sinister Sabotage, so whatever they play next. Shalai, we can sabotage that, sure. Hopefully we can try to get a Ritual up top. So an Eldest Reborn doesn't really help us, and we already have one in hand, so we'll drop that. Vraska's Contempt, not bad. Might work for us, right? So we'll pass the turn, probably end up contempting the Jadelight Ranger unless something else hits the field that we need to worry about. Like another Shalai. And we're down to 9, which isn't ideal. Another Contempt, which is nice. So we can Doom Whisperer, which doesn't really get us much. It does give us a blocker. It does allow us to surveil, though we're pretty low on life, so we really wouldn't want to do that. So I think right now our best play is to Contempt. And then, yeah, probably Contempt at this point. So we're just going to pass the turn. We'll Contempt, see what they play, if they play anything right now. Just waiting on them. So we know our opponent has an Ixalan's Binding, which means I really don't want them to waste it to use it on a Doom Whisperer. I'd almost rather use it on an Eldest Reborn at this point. So we Contempt the Jadelight. He's got something at instant speed, maybe? I mean, Blossoming Defense doesn't exist in this format, so I'm not quite sure. Alright, so we'll play Eldest Reborn. He's going to have to sack his Land of War, which is fine. He could now Ixalan's Binding on his turn, the Eldest Reborn, which, if that's what he chooses to do, so be it. Yep. Looks like that's what's happening. And so enchantments are something that are a little bit difficult for us to remove without a Discovery Dispersal. And we'll pass the turn. Another Ixalan's Bind. Okay, so that's a little rough. Right, so we're going to pay the 2 life to Surveil. Essence Scatter, another Eldest Reborn. No and no. We'll pay the 2 life one more time, go down to 6. Not ideal. Eldest Reborn, Sinister Sabotage is nice, but I'm really looking for a Dispersal at this point. Aha, and there we go. So he's going to have to return something. And we get something back. So I'm not sure, because they're both the same, I'm not sure if he gets to choose. I don't know that, actually. If anybody wants to give me an actual ruling on that, that'd be fantastic. So I'm really hoping, realistically, it doesn't really help us that much, because he can just play it again next turn. Ooh, the Immortal Sun. And we can't really do much. So realistically, we really didn't actually do that much, to be honest. We can't attack because he has Summoning Sickness. So at that point, I really wish I had a Thought Erasure, because that would have been fantastic. Yep, so he's just going to Binding again, which is fine. So really all we did was we just tempoed like a turn. That was not what we wanted. Pass the turn. So in a deck that's kind of light on win cons like we are, you know, Ixalan's Binding can prove to be kind of a, you know, big pain in the butt. We'll pass the turn. Whatever he ends up playing, we'll just probably Sinister Sabotage. You got something at instant speed? We don't want the swamp. Okay. So he's going to draw an extra card each turn, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't really matter to us that much. I mean, drawing cards is always really great, to be honest, but we don't carry any Planeswalkers. Path to Discovery. Merfolk Branchwalker. Yeah, we'll let that resolve. It's fine. That's fine. Yep. We'll end combat. We'll just Ritual of Soot on our turn. So he's going to draw the Tristani, which is fine because we have Contempt that we can use. Yep. So Wild Growth Walker. So that can be a problem. So we have 3, 6, 8. So we could Thought Erasure and then end of their turn flash in Dream Eater. Okay. Disinformation Campaign. I really don't like it. Actually, I want another Ritual of Soot, to be honest. How many have we gone through? One. Just one. So we've got 2 more in there. A lot of triggers going on. So we played a Dream Eater. We get to Surveil for 4, probably, hopefully finding our Ritual of Soot. We get to bounce something back to their hand, so I'll probably bounce back the Ixalan's Binding with the Eldest Reborn in it. Get the Eldest Reborn back. Ooh, we can... glad we avoided all of those. That would have been terrible. Get back the Eldest Reborn. Make them sack a creature. Oh, I didn't even see that bit played. There's a lot of interactions happening right now. So we'll block. We lose the Dream Eater, but they lose whatever it is they were going after. Nope. And they're going to take back. And that's pretty much game. So they just landed a lot of Ixalan's bindings against us, which kind of shut us out from being able to do anything we wanted to do. And, you know, with Path to Discovery and just a ton of creatures, it's a good combo. And unfortunately, enchantments are something that we struggle against. So it is what it is. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that was our quick constructed league with our blue and black Dimir discard deck. It performed decently well. You know, when the draws kind of didn't go our way, then the deck kind of really faltered, right? It doesn't really have much room for mistakes. And if you miss a land drop, or if you miss, you know, a colored source, or you miss a Ritual of Soot when you could really use one, then you kind of really get punished for it, which is unfortunate. But again, you know, we talked about in the beginning whether or not I want Search for Azcanta, and honestly, I kind of think I do. And if I were to do it, I think I would. Let's see. So I think we'd go 2 Search, and I honestly think I might even just drop 2 Essence Scatter and run the deck that way. You know, Search goes down, especially on the play turn too, if you've got it, and it's just awesome. Helps you fix your draws. And I think it could really help smooth out this deck where we saw that the draws didn't go our way. Search could have really helped us there. Not only that, but Search, once flipped, can really help us find that card that we're looking for, like a Ritual of Soot or a Contempt or an Eldest Reborn, to really kind of close out the game. So I think I'd probably run it this way next time. You know, if you guys want to see an updated run with this new deck list, by all means, please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to record one. But other than that, guys, this is the end of the video. If you liked the video, definitely hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, think about hitting that subscribe button, and I'll check you guys next time. Until later on, and we'll play another control deck. Take it easy, guys.